Welcome to Chop Shop Motors. My name is Clay, and you're in store for another hot rod shop class video. This one's number 4, and we're gonna take a look at what kind of toolboxes might serve the purpose as you start to put your tools together. There's lots of options. I have 3 basic kind of broad range of options, and we'll talk about a few others, and you in the end might have some ideas on where you're going to put all those tools that you're accumulating. So let's dive in and see what the storage toolbox and storage device looks like for your collection of tools. So I grabbed 3 options to share with you and discuss what you might be looking for when it's time to put your tools into something, so that you can either have them in your garage, your carport, maybe you're going to take them with you when you go to a wrecking yard or you pull it, or maybe you want to put them in just a storage unit where you can work on things around the house as you need to. So having them organized is a great first step. So we'll look at 3 options, and then you can decide if a variation of this might work for you. So the first option I'm going to look at is this Craftsman box. So I'll move a couple of these others out of the way a little bit. So the Craftsman box is readily available. This was and still is a pretty economical solution, whether it's Craftsman or any other brand. It is a plastic tote. It's easy to get. Big box stores have them. I got this one when I bought a handheld angle grinder, and this came with it. So this was basically free with the purchase of an angle grinder, but even brand new, they're not super expensive, and they're a pretty durable way to get your stuff into out of the weather and in one spot. It does not have, this one at least did not come with any accessories. There are some like this that will come with a tray, a tote tray inside, and that makes it very handy for putting like small tools, screwdrivers and sockets in the top, big wrenches, and a hammer in the bottom, and some of the other stuff that we've discussed in the last few videos. The interesting thing about this solution is that this kind of a toolbox comes in multiple sizes. So you could get this down to almost a fishing tackle size box, so it's only that tall and that long, and you can use that. You can get it in a much longer box that's out, another 8 or 10 inches, and it might float around in the back of your truck. I have one in the back of my truck that's a bit longer, and it has tie downs in it, and that's all that's in it. It's just full of tie downs. So when I hold something, I have the straps with me. However you choose, the only downside to this box, there's a couple downsides to it, and I'll share them with you, and then you decide if that's a concern. The one downside to this particular box is it isn't super rigid. So as you can see, it's full of angle grinders. It's got 3 or 4 in there. They're pretty heavy, and it bulges out the sides a bit. So that is definitely a consideration if you're starting to accumulate quite a number of tools and you're going to push this thing to the maximum. The other piece is that it has a single latch on it that's holding all the weight when you're carrying it by the handle. These are things that will be frustrating if that breaks. So keep in mind, some of these boxes have 2 handles or 2 latches, a little more secure. Some of them have a much more substantial latch. And I will say, price-wise, if you buy a new one or you look around and watch when something comes on sale at Lowe's or Home Depot or things like that, if you're buying a new one, sometimes the price point is not very much different. When you're buying these kinds of things at a yard sale, just look at condition. If they're super sun-baked, that means the plastic's going to be more brittle. It might not serve you as well, and you just don't want to get frustrated as you're collecting your tools or trying to take care of them. So that's option one. We're going to show you three. Okay, I'm going to move the small plastic tote to the side. Option two. Option two is something that I don't think this particular style of box is available anymore. This particular one is made by SK, and it was probably 60s vintage. This particular box was, interestingly enough, it was given to me by my daughter, but she found it in the bulk trash pickup driving down the road. She saw it there and stopped and picked it up. She knows that I love the old tools, and so this fell right into what I would want. It was dirtier than it is now, but even in the picture it looks a little weathered, but it is unbelievably straight. Now, the cool thing about a box like this is that it has 3 latches, so it is quite secure. The top latch has an eyelet for a padlock, which means you can put something through it and it will keep the lid closed no matter what. Even if these popped open, that eyelet with that very positive padlock type hole would keep it closed. They are a little bigger, they're a little bulkier. If you find one used, there's a good chance it's going to be maybe misused and abused. So you're just going to want to decide if it's worth your hassle. I love it because it's kind of vintage, but really what you're trying to do is have a good place to store your tools. So vintage probably doesn't really factor in at this point, and you just want something that's going to work. The nice part about a box like this, we'll open it up a little bit, is that there's quite often going to be a tote tray inside. So the tote tray lifts out and allows you to carry your tray of tools and still have storage down underneath. The good thing about a box this size is it's not huge, but there's a lot of capacity. It will get to the point where it's so heavy you won't want to lug it around, and you kind of have to decide, do I have too many tools in there for this box to be useful, because it's just so doggone heavy. When you're all done, especially if you don't haul the box around a lot, it works quite nicely to keep everything together that you have. It closes up pretty easily. Most of these older boxes are pretty well engineered, and you'll get pretty good life. If you have one that's not bent up initially, it will probably last you, with just a little bit of care and a little oil on the piano hinges, it'll last you for a long, long time. All right, the last option. The last option is a little simpler to look at, in that it's not actually a tool box, but it's a tool bag. And this particular box is made by Atlas 45. Bag is made by Atlas 45. This is the one I put in my truck, my daily truck. And the nice thing about this is it's quite well organized. The downside, at least to this one, is it's a bit more expensive. So this goes against everything I've told you on all the videos around finding something super cheap and easy. Now, the alternative to this, and what I had used for years, was a Craftsman tool bag, about the same size, probably $20 at at Sears. So now at let's see who's carrying it. Lowe's, I think. Lowe's or Home Depot. One of them's probably Lowe's is carrying the Craftsman, or Ace Hardware. And you can probably get the bag that's about that size with a zipper and 2 grab handles for about 20-25 bucks. They work really good. This one's a little more expensive, but it is a little more organized. So I'll show you the pluses to this. It unzips and it has multiple carriers for your tools along the side here. And then it has flaps along the edge for your wrenches. Now, when you're just getting started, that might not be worth it, but it is something to consider. I didn't have a bag with me to show you just a zipper bag, but that would be the more economical solution to get you all your tools in one place and make it easier to carry them to someplace and use them and keep track of them and bring them back. That is it for the toolbox segment. Quick and a decent overview, I think, to keep you thinking about what you want to do with your tools after you collect them. I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors, and we'll see you on the next project.